girls. Today we're going to talk about schema and text-to-self connections. Schema is everything that you already know in your brain. It can be things you know from an experience. It can be things you know from a text, from conversations. But schema is everything you already know. And our schema grows and it builds as we learn more information. So today, while we're reading Lily's Purple Plastic Purse, I'm going to think about the connections that I can make to the story and build my schema. Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. I love school. Lily loved school. She loved pointy pencils. She loved the squeaky chalk. And she loved the way her boots went clickety-clickety-click down the long, shiny hallways. Already, I can make a connection. This page here reminds me of how much I loved school when I was a little girl. Lily loved the privacy of her very own desk. Mine. She loved the fish sticks and chocolate milk every Friday in the lunchroom. Straws make everything taste better. And most of all, she loved her teacher, Mr. Slinger, for you. Mr. Slinger was as sharp as a tack. He wore artistic shirts. He wore glasses on a chain around his neck. And he wore a different colored tie for each day of the week. Wow, said Lily. That was just about all she could say. Wow. Instead of greetings, students, or good morning, pupils, Mr. Slinger winked and said, howdy. He thought that desks and rows were old-fashioned and boring. Do you rodents think you can handle a semicircle? And he always provided the most tasty snacks, things that were curly and crunchy and cheesy. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Me too, said her friends, Chester and Wilson and Victor. Now this page reminds me of a teacher that I had in second grade that would give us little cups of orange juice after PE. So I'm making a connection to this teacher providing snacks for his students and a teacher that I had when I was in second grade. At home, Lily pretended to be Mr. Slinger. I am the teacher, she told her baby brother Julius. Listen up. Lily even wanted her own set of deluxe picture encyclopedias. Teachers know everything. What's with Lily? Asked her mother. I thought she wanted to be a surgeon or an ambulance driver or a diva, said her father. It must be because of her new teacher, Mr. Slinger, said her mother. Wow, said her father. That was just about all he could say. Wow. Whenever the students had free time, they were permitted to go to the light bulb lab in the back of the classroom. They expressed their ideas creatively through drawing and writing. Lily went often. She had a lot of ideas. She drew pictures of Mr. Slinger, and she wrote stories about him too. During sharing time, Lily showed her creations to the entire class. Wow, said Mr. Slinger. That was just about all he could say. Wow. And at the very last second, Mr. Slinger saved the cold, starving elderly. When Mr. Slinger had bus duty, Lily stood in line even though she didn't ride the bus. Lily raised her hand more than anyone else in class, even if she didn't know the answer. Call on me, please, please. And she volunteered to stay after school to clap erasers. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Excellent choice, said Mr. Slinger. Now I'm going to make a connection here, a text to self connection. Because when I was little, I wanted to be a teacher too, just like Lily. One morning, Lily came to school especially happy. She had gone shopping with her granny over the weekend. Lily had a new pair of movie star sunglasses, complete with glittery diamonds and a chain like Mr. Slinger's. She had 3 shiny quarters, and best of all, she had a brand new purple plastic purse that played a jaunty tune when it was opened. Oh, I can make another text to self-connection. This reminds me of when I had a purse that I absolutely loved and I wanted to take it everywhere with me, just like Lily. Lily wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Listen to our story. Lily had a hard time listening. Lily really wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. let's be considerate of our classmates." Lily had a hard time being considerate. Lily really wanted to show everyone. "Not now," said Mr. Slinger. "Wait until recess or sharing time." But Lily could not wait. The glasses were so glittery, the quarters were so shiny, and the purse played such nice music, not to mention how excellent it was for storing school supplies. "Look," Lily whispered fiercely. "Look, everyone, look what I've got." Everyone looked, including Mr. Slinger. He was not amused. "I'll just keep your things at my desk until the end of the day," said Mr. Slinger. "They'll be safe there, and then you can take them home." Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. Her glasses were gone. Her quarters were gone. Her purple plastic purse was gone. Lily longed for her purse all morning. She was even too sad to eat the snack Mr. Slinger served before recess. "Oh, this reminds me of a time I was really sad and I didn't even feel like eating." That afternoon, Lily went to the light bulb lab. She was still very sad. She thought and she thought and she thought, and then she became angry. She thought and she thought and she thought some more, and then she became furious. She thought and she thought and she thought and she thought a little bit longer, and then she drew a picture of Mr. Slinger. "Big, fat, mean Mr. Stealing Teacher, bad, claws, thief, bad, wanted by FBI. I do not want to be a teacher when I grow up." Right before the last bell rang, Lily sneaked the drawing into Mr. Slinger's book bag. When all of the students were buttoned and zipped and snapped and tied and ready to go home, Mr. Slinger strolled over to Lily and gave her purple plastic purse back. "It's a beautiful purse," said Mr. Slinger. "Your quarters are nice and jingly, and those glasses are absolutely fabulous. You may bring them back to school as long as you don't disturb the rest of the class." "I do not want to be a teacher when I grow up," Lily said as she marched out of the classroom. On the way home, Lily opened her purse. Her glasses and quarters were inside. And so was a note from Mr. Slinger. It said, "Today was a difficult day. Tomorrow will be better." There was also a small bag of tasty snacks at the bottom of the purse. "Oh, this page reminds me of something. I can make a text-to-self connection. This part here, today was a difficult day, tomorrow will be better. My mom used to say something like that to me when I was little." That's my connection to this page. Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. She felt simply awful. Lily ran all the way home and told her mother and father everything. Instead of watching her favorite cartoons, Lily decided to sit in the uncooperative chair. "I'll stay here 1,000,000 years for Mr. Slinger. Why does everything happen to me? 1051, 1052, 1099. That night, Lily drew a picture of Mr. Slinger and wrote a story about him too. Lily was really sorry, so everyone forgave her, even her parents, even her stinky baby brother, even her especially incredible teacher. And then the sun shined, its smiley face down on everyone and everything, even the bugs and worms. The end. Listen up, I forgive everyone. Kind, good, nice. Could be principal. Worms, bugs. Oops. I am really sorry. Lily's mother wrote a note, and Lily's father baked some tasty snacks for Lily to take to school the next day. "I think Mr. Slinger will understand," said Lily's mother. "I know he will," said Lily's father. The next morning, Lily got to school early. "These are for you," Lily said to Mr. Slinger, "because I'm really sorry." Mr. Slinger read the story, and he looked at the picture, and he read the note, and he sampled the snacks. "Wow," said Mr. Slinger. That was just about all he could say. Wow. What does it say? Yum, yum. "What do you think we should do with this?" asked Mr. Slinger. we just throw it away?" asked Lily. "Excellent idea," said Mr. Slinger. During sharing time, Lily demonstrated the many uses and unique qualities of her purple plastic purse, her shiny quarters, and her glittery movie star sunglasses. "It's like having an extra pocket with a radio inside. 3/4 are even better than $1 bill because they make noise. Glamorous protection from harmful rays." Then she did a little performance using them as props. "It's called interpretive dance," said Lily. Mr. Slinger joined in. "Wow," said the entire class. That was just about all they could say. Wow. Throughout the rest of the day, Lily's purse and quarters and sunglasses were tucked safely inside her desk. She peeked at them often, but did not disturb a soul. "Oh, this picture reminds me of something I can make a connection to. The desk that opens from the top reminds me of a desk that I had when I was in elementary school." Right before the last bell rang, Mr. Slinger served Lily snacks to everyone's delight. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" asked Mr. Slinger. "A teacher," everyone responded. Lily's response was the loudest. "Excellent choice," said Mr. Slinger. "Hooray for Mr. Slinger! Yippee! Nose frills, cheese balls. Delish! Wow! Goodies!" As the pupils filed out of the classroom, Lily held her purple plastic purse close to her heart. Mr. Slinger was right. It had been a better day. Lily ran and skipped and hopped and flew all the way home. She was so happy, and she really did want to be a teacher when she grew up. That is, when she didn't want to be a dancer or a surgeon or an ambulance driver or a diva or a pilot or a hairdresser or a scuba diver. "Accident, accident, woo, woo." "Hold still, the doctor's here. Ready for takeoff." Oh, this reminds me of when I used to dance, and I really wanted to be a dancer too. So after reading Lily's purple plastic purse, I'm going to make some text-to-self connections. So, schema, text-to-self. The first thing I'm going to do is write the book title, Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. What text-to-self connection can I make? What does this book remind me of? Draw and label a picture of your connection. So I'm thinking about this story and what it reminds me of, the connections I could make to myself. And it reminds me of that purse that I loved so much and I wanted to take it everywhere with me. So that's what I'm going to draw a picture of. And I'm going to label my picture. So here is my schema text-to-self activity. For book title, I put Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. And what text-to-self connection can I make? What does this book remind me of? Draw and label a picture of your connection. So this reminded me of a very special person I had when I was in 3rd grade. So I drew my purse and I labeled it my purse, just like Lily, pink with flowers. It had stripes on the handle. And down here, I labeled it my 3rd grade special purse. So this is my text-to-self connection to the story, Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. And don't forget, schema is everything that's in your head and your brain. And it activates when you make connections to the stories you're reading. See you next time, 1st graders. Bye.